Hello and welcome to video number 25. This is me learning how to use the AKAI MPC Live 3 and passing on to you all my tips and tricks as I do so. When I was planning this video, I thought it would last for about 5 minutes because I didn't really think there was that much to this page, but how wrong was I? It's actually very deep, and I'm talking about this arrange page that you can see in front of you here. I'm using the demo song that I've used all along because it's a very involved song and it's a great way of showing stuff off to you. So from the menu you can press arrange and it takes you there. That's one way of getting there. If you're on the grid page you can press arrange. If you're on the list edit page you can press arrange. So quite a few ways of getting there. It's never really a problem to get to this page in a hurry, is it? Now this is going to give you the most door-like screen on the Live 3. When I say door, I mean something like Logic, Cubase, Reason, that kind of thing. On this page you can see all the tracks stacked up one on top of the other. So track number 1's on top and you can see the numbers here, 1 down to 17, and there are more. If I scroll up there are 22 tracks in this project. It gives you a great kind of top-down view where you can see tracks coming in and out, you can see where tracks start and finish. It's brilliant for that, and I thought initially that was really all it was for. I knew about the locators, dare I say that word, I've said it so much lately, but here are the locators that are set in this song. But other than that, I didn't think there was much more to the arrange page than this, but like I say, how wrong was I? So there are various types of tracks here. Track number 1 is a drum track, and you can see the various notes here that have been recorded. That's very obviously a MIDI kind of thing. Track number 2 here is called vocal stack, and you can see it's an audio file. Here's another audio file, and obviously they travel from left to right in this linear fashion as you would expect. Like I say, something like Logic. If I press play you can see the playhead moving, you can see the bar beat, tick, read out, advancing. Nothing strange, nothing weird about that. You can identify an audio track very easily by its waveform, and in the top left hand corner of it is the name of the track. Now it's in absolutely microscopic font. I think that's probably about size 3 or 4 font, very, very small. My eyesight is not that great, so it's a bit of a struggle for me. Now let's press this button here. See this little white button with 2 arrows? If I press that, it goes back to the default zoomed out view. This is a very long project. I can't see the end of it. If I want to, I simply put my finger on the screen and drag it across like that. See? Now this main area and the grid view, of course, can be pinched and zoomed. Now you can zoom horizontally and vertically. I tend to zoom horizontally with my thumb and my finger, and vertically with 2 fingers like this. So if you zoom to the absolute maximum, you see just 1 track at a time on the screen. There's a much better way of doing this, and that's using the Q-Link encoders. I'll deal with the Q-Link encoders properly in their own video. I think they deserve that because they're such an important part of this machine. But I'm going to go down a little bit of a rabbit hole here to show you this because it's really worth it. Just going to press this button to reset, and I'll show you how it's set up. If I press the Q-Link button up here, and you can see it brings up this screen, and I'm going to press screen down here. Now my Q-Link encoders are set up to control the screen, and as you know we've got 4 times 4. We've got 4 encoders and 4 screens worth of them. So these are capacitive encoders. If I touch this one here, it comes up vertical scroll. If I touch it and hold it, it will stay on. So the top encoder controls the global tempo, second one down controls the loop start, third one the loop end, and this bottom one here I want to show you first of all controls the vertical scroll. If I let go it will drop away, so if I turn this you can see it's scrolling through the tracks, and that's really, really useful, isn't it? You definitely don't want to miss out on that. If I press the Q-Link button again it will move to the right. This time up here I've got vertical zoom, and then second one down is where the playhead is, third one down is the horizontal scroll, and the lowest one is the horizontal zoom. So vertical zoom, isn't that brilliant? And horizontal zoom, and you can do both of them at the same time. Just so brilliant, isn't it? So obviously that's so much easier than messing around with your fingers and your thumb trying to zoom it to where you want it. And of course here you've got the horizontal scrolls. You can scroll back to the beginning. You can move this so you can see the playhead. So I tend to move from position 1 to position 2. Normally if you keep pressing Q-Link it goes up to 3, 4 and then goes back to 1. But if you're on 2, if you hold Shift and press the Q-Link button, it goes the other way straight back to 1, which is a good tip, isn't it? Let's put it on 2 and we'll do some scrolling. Yeah, it's just so brilliant, isn't it? It's just dawning upon me really how powerful these encoders are. By the way, you can turn this off whereby you get these pop-ups, but I quite like them. I find them quite useful. So there are lots of 4 settings here. I'm not going to go through those now, but I've written them down in my manual that I'm writing on the machine, and I've made a note of them, and I'll probably come back to those in my dedicated Q-Link video. Now, one thing that is a bit confusing to some people, on the main page we have this sequence 1, which is labelled 91 Vocals Demo featuring Chante Marie, and the arrange over here, this is the arrangement, that's exactly the same thing. So this is this. You see? So all of this here is the same as this here. Obviously on this page we can only see 1 track at a time. On the arrange page you can see as many tracks as you can fit in, and then you can scroll down. And just to prove that, if I go back to the main page and if I'm on the sequence, which I am, if I rotate to the right 1 click, now I've gone to a new sequence which is unused. So if I press the arrangement, it's now empty. I've still got the same tracks, but there's no sequence. So you can see how they are linked. Let's go back to this, scroll back. Now we have our arrangement back. I want to talk a bit about how the pages link together. So if I focus on a track here, if I just press this one here, pluck, it's lit up here. I'm going to talk about the pads in a moment. So I've got track 6, pluck. If I go to the main page, track 6, pluck. If I press and hold sounds, key ranges, page, track 6, pluck is highlighted. If I go to the grid, you can't tell from this page, but it is that track. And if I go to the mixer, track 6, pluck is in focus. See, so they're all linked. Conversely, so if I go to the track view, for instance, double tap that, track 6, pluck. Let's change track, let's go to Mellotron, go to the arrangement page, Mellotron, key ranges page, Mellotron, mixer, Mellotron, you get the idea. And of course, I have shown you this before, if you press and hold the main button, you're able to choose tracks with the pads. So if I choose bells up here, A13, bells is in focus in the mixer, and if I scroll down here, it's in focus on the arrange page. They all talk to each other. And by the way, if you hold main, I've shown you this before, if you press pad B, there are more tracks that you can get to. It'll take you up to your 22 tracks because you've got 16 and you've got 6 more here. See? So it's bank A and a few in bank B. I'm so impressed with the usability of this machine and the convenience of it all. I've never found a machine in all the years I've been using gear that's so well thought out in this respect. Right, what's next? Let's have a look round this page. So, usual stuff. At the top we've got the arrange icon, which is in red because that's where we are. We can get to the grid view, the clip matrix and the list view. These buttons are greyed out, but if I pressed grid I'd go straight there. See? To arrange. So moving along the top we've got the read write button here. You'll see that read write is set to W, write or read, you see? So it's green, so it's reading, now it's red and now it's writing here. So beats per minute, that's the tempo of the song. This is the amount of bars in the sequence, 64 bars. So we could move that up and down from there with the data dial or the plus minus button and the usual bar beats and ticks. Here we can change the position of the sequence with either the data dial or the plus and minus. We'll come back to that in a minute. So those three items, the BPM, the bars and the bar beat tick, can all be changed if the red rectangle is round them. Now if the red rectangle is round the bar beat tick, if I press shift and stop, it takes us back to the beginning. Now there's three ways of scrolling through the sequence. If I use the data dial, it scrolls in beats, see? One beat at a time. If I hold shift, then it scrolls in quarter beats. If I press the single arrows, it scrolls in quarter beats. If I use the double arrow, it scrolls in bars. If I use the plus and minus buttons, it scrolls in beats. If I hold the shift button, it scrolls in quarter beats. See, so various ways you can scroll through the song. If I've got the horizontal scroll on, I can move through the project without altering the playhead. So yeah, pretty good, isn't it? Quickest way is to use the double arrow buttons, or just plonk your finger down where you want the song to go from. This pencil icon here in this edit box leads us to the sequence edit page, where we can do all kinds of things to the sequence, erasing, clearing, transposing, etc. I'm not going to get into that for the moment. This cog here leads us to the grid settings, and amongst other things you can change on here is the behaviour of the playhead. You can have the auto scroll off, or following, or page. I tend to have it on follow, I think. A few other bits there, we don't need to worry about that for the moment. So that's the kind of top menu bar. Now under this you can see what I call the bar ruler, this block here. Now you can see it's encased in a white rectangle because that is the loop. The loop is set to the whole song at the moment, see? If I go right to the end of the song, you've got that there. So I could grab hold of this handle, bring this back. It's a bit reluctant. And I could grab hold of the first handle, I could drag it. You'll notice it snaps to the beginning of a bar. So now you can see the whole of the loop. If you put your finger in the middle, you can move the whole loop up and down, but it always snaps to the beginning of a bar. Now you can tap anywhere here at the top, or where you have these locator buttons. So I tap here and the song will go there, or there, anywhere in these two areas. But I can't tap beyond the loop. If I tap with my finger, I can't get to that part of the song, even though there's more down there. See? Plenty more down there. I can't get to it because it's beyond the end of the loop. So if you turn the loop off, then you can go to wherever you want. Let's just reset. Turn the loop off for the moment. Then underneath that we have what I call the main area. So track 1 is at the top, like I said. Let's use our encoders here to move this so we can see just one track. So first set of buttons, and we'll go to the top, and I'll press this to select it. So I've now selected track 1, which is the trap kit. You can see it's got the automation set to right. Let's change that to read. You can see that there is a record light on, because if I go to the main page, you'll see record is armed. If I turn that off, come back to the arrange, that's gone out here. You can't see it here. So track 13, you've got the number there, and you've got the plug-in icon, because this is a plug-in instrument. So there's quite a lot of information on that. Okay. And if I go back to main and I just press mute and solo, come back to the arrange page, you can see mute and solo are shown here, that they are both on. Let's just leave it at solo for the moment. Now the name of the track is abbreviated because obviously there's not room for the entire name of this track because it's a massive, great drum kit name. So if I press and hold on this track's name, let's see what happens. It takes me to this menu for the track where I can do all kinds of things: clear, delete, duplicate, etc, etc. So here you could either bounce this track to a sample or to an audio track. Bit like the freezing thing that I used to do in Logic. So press anywhere to get rid of that. If I go to an audio track, you can see this is an audio track, you can see the waveforms, it's stereo. Now if I do the same thing here, press and hold, I get the same sort of thing, but there's a slightly different menu. Down here it says flatten track, elastic. Now flatten track renders everything on this track to a new audio file. And flatten track elastic does the same thing, but it includes any warp data to render a higher quality track than can be achieved normally using warp. Here, if I press and hold on any area in the main screen, so if I press over here along this line here where the strings are, if I press here, just touch, it highlights the strings. If I press here, and the same thing happens if I come over here, same thing happens if I press the audio strip itself. So if I press here on this track here, which is the pad, anywhere will do, it doesn't have to be on this. That's lit up. This is a plugin. Let's try another one. Let's do that key group one. Let's press over the top of the clips. That's lit up, and again you've got the pads. So you get different things happening depending on what type of track it is. So if it's a drum track like this one, the pads light up dimly, but you can play all the different sounds in that drum track. So if I go to a plug-in track like the Mellotron, then I can play the notes with the pads. Same with the key group, this one here. Sound has been pitched up across the pads. Now if I press and hold on the audio region, I get this extra menu come up: delete, mute and reverse. So I can delete that audio strip, mute it or reverse it. Let's press reverse. Now you can see it's going the other way. Undo. There are two audio clips here side by side. So if I press this one, press and hold, and I mute it, it's gone grey, but this one hasn't, you see? So undo that. So many things you can do. It's really useful. Like I said earlier, it's deep, isn't it? There's an awful lot going on here. Now, double tapping on a track does something different. So at track 1 here, we'll select it. So if I double tap this, it takes me to track settings, and here you can do all kinds of things like renaming the track, arming the track, sorting out the MIDI routing. Now, I was looking at this the other day thinking there must be more to this, and of course if you put your finger on it and move up, you've got this where you can change the colour. On this page you can change the position. At the moment this is track 1, I can make it track 2 if I wanted to, but I don't want to change it. I'm going to put it back to track 1. There's quite a bit you can do on this page. If you don't like the colour you can change it, push down on the data dial, you've got that choice of colours. Anyway, press the X to come out. So that's the double tap menu. I don't know if it's any different for an audio track. Let's do that. Double tap. So you've got the track name, the monitoring. There's obviously no MIDI settings. Let's go to a key group track. This one here, double tap. And here we've got usual suspects. Naming, MIDI routing, colour. Okay, so that's that. That's double tapping on the name. If you double tap on the clip area of a track, so if I double tap on this pluck track here, you don't have to select it, but I'm going to show you that. It can be in a blank area or where clips are. Double tap. Now watch carefully. Now we've got this lower part of the screen changed, and what this is, of course, is the grid view for that track. You can see grid written down here. You can just drag this up and down. You can make it pretty high, so you almost lose the entire arrange page apart from the top part. You can drag it down, and if you press that arrow again, it will close, and if you press it again, it will open to where it was before. It remembers where it was. Now, one thing you've got to watch here, if the grid view is showing, all these tabs at the bottom are for the grid view. So if you want to see the bottom kind of menu for the arrange page, you have to press the arrow here so it's facing up. So now you'll see the foot of the page menu for the arrange page. Shift gives you the locators, of course. But as soon as you turn the arrow up the other way and you see a bit of the grid, then this menu is for the grid view. So it's kind of two views in one. It's the arrange and the grid at the same time. It's so versatile, this, isn't it? So remember, upward facing arrow, you've got the arrange page menu. Downward facing arrow, you've got the menu for the grid view and the shift menu as well. And notice you've got the tools here: pencil, eraser, marquee, magnifying glass. If I go to the grid page properly, they're up there, so they're in a slightly different place. But it's essentially the same thing. And you can see the automation here if you press auto. It's not quite the same, but pretty much. So let's just close that. Grid page. Buses takes you to any buses you've set up. I haven't dealt with that yet. Got the ubiquitous timing corrector page, the quantized page. It's pretty much everywhere, that, isn't it? Let's just press that again so we go back to our normal strips. Now you can record directly into this arrange page, and I didn't realise that. Let's say, for the sake of argument, I want to record into this drum kit here. I'm in a blank area of it. Go to the main page. Press the record arm button so it goes red. Come back to the arrange. You can't see it because it's so small at the moment. If I rotate this, make it nice and big, you can see that record arm icon is up there. If this strip is too narrow, you don't see that. So I'm going to record into this area here. This MIDI record erase button, if it's enabled, the new recording will erase existing MIDI data. If it's white like that, and I started recording here, for instance, it would erase what's there. So turn it off and then it will be essentially overdubbing. Okay, let's come over here just to show you that we can record into this. Let's just do a bit of recording. Record and play. And you can see I've got that little bit down there that I recorded right at the beginning. So you can record directly into this arrange view, and I didn't know you could do that, but you can. I rather like the way these audio clips are kind of 3D. You've got this kind of ledge there where the name is. Graphically very pleasing, isn't it? So that is the arrange page, and it's pretty deep, isn't it? And like I said, I never realised how much you could do on this page, and maybe you didn't realise either. If you learnt something from this video today, or you enjoyed it, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. If you'd like to give me some encouragement with all the work I do on YouTube, please make a small donation either here on YouTube. On my home page, that you'll be able to find a link to my PayPal, so you can make a donation there. It's all very easy to do. Or you can do it on my website. And if you do that, I'm obviously very, very grateful. Thank you very much for watching today, and you'll hear from me very soon, I'm sure. Bye for now.